Here we go. Hello. Hello, we are live. Welcome to Movie Crap, people who are listening, who can hear me and everything. I hope everyone is having a good Saturday night. I hope I can hear me. Can I hear me? Oh, you get a little bit of that little nice music there. I'll just do the thing. Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is Movie Crap Live. Hello. Oh, the cops are looking for me. I guess I'm streaming too much of the truth, or they're just outside. Sorry. Cornbread, hello. Message retracted. Sleepy Time 4Cat Productions. Purple Goop, Bruce Parker, El Mono Loco, The Robot Lowbacks, Twisted Razor, Asley Chene? I think? No. Anyway, Catbot, Cornbread, No Name Person, Nathaniel Foga, Buster, cut it out. William Elman's here. Run Hum, Mo Kitsch, Toon J723, Discount Viscount, El Mono Loco, Cameraman, Nathaniel Foga, Austin, Ace the Wind Rider, who did awesome fan art. I'm going to shout out tonight. Paw Patrol is coming. That's good. I like that. Buster, are you okay? You're really pushing it tonight. I hope everyone's doing good, having a good night. Looks like the tweet is out. Jordan Salafalo's sweet potato fries. Where everyone is going. Medela Butterfly. Just saw the one and only Ivan finally. Oh, that's interesting, Gilberto. But yeah. Alright. I guess I will show my beautiful face. Ryan Walter said names. True. Buster, cut it out, man. Come on. Okay, hold on. Let me move some wires so we don't get like disconnected all of a sudden. Because Buster's being a little particular. Okay. I think we're okay. Now this is hard. I'm just gonna put this. Buster, you okay? You want to be on the stream? Let's open with Buster. Okay. Here, we're going to be on the internet. Oh, your hesitancy. Hello. Oh, he was super chat. Aww. How are you doing? You're very purry right now. What do you think? What do you think about stuff? No? Oh, Sinram's here. Do you know? You never met him, but... Oh, okay. I think we gotta do some super chats. Are you okay? You're purring a lot. Can people hear the purrs? You like the mic? Okay. Alright, that's enough of this. King of the streams, Buster. You behave yourself, right? I think you got enough attention. So hold on. Alright, let's do these super chats. Which, thank you for sending them. Alright, first, Bloxy, favorite Insane Clown Posse song. I guess the Magnets one. I bought one of their albums before they were like they were first notorious because their album got banned. And I was like, it got banned, it has to be good. Or got taken off Disney. Cheers to you, Bloxy. And it was awful. It was all I'd heard were like 20-second snippets. I was like, 20 seconds sounds alright. And it was banned, and I was 17, and then it was horrible. I returned it. That's my whole story. Discount Viscount, how do I prepare myself to endure the Snyder Cut? I'm not even that far. I don't even know if I'm a full halfway. You can watch it in chunks. I think I'm going to finish it tomorrow. Eat some ice cream. I don't know. Watch it, and it's so long. I wonder, the one thing I have wondered about the whole Snyder Cut thing is like, what was the real theatrical cut supposed to be? Like, that's the whole thing about it. It's like, how would he have cut it down? I've been wondering that while watching it. Like, would he have had to make the same sacrifices, or I don't know. He's probably said this in something, but cheers to you, Discount Viscount. I've been thinking about that while I watch it, which is taking fucking forever. Sounds like Paul Blart is coming for a collab. I would be so down for a Paul Blart collab. I would be down for that. Cheers to you. All right. First off, if you before we get into other small talk things, the I'm not really talking about the Oscars tonight because I did a separate stream on Monday. So if you have any Oscar questions or things you want to hear me talk about, just go watch that one. If you want to ask me during this the stream during the stream or something, that's fine, but I'm probably not going to cover it. A few minor things that I'll get to later, I guess. Zane Powers said, or a few facts, not minor things, but things I couldn't cover. Sorry. Zane Powers says, so is the Snyder Cut good in your opinion? Right now it's fine. It's certainly better. I don't want to go about good, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so I mean, good is a relative term when it comes to the Snyder Cut, but cheers to you. Cyborg's better. I can say that. Let's see. Yeah, so what were the few Oscar things? I didn't notice when I did it that Mank is a film about a screenwriter with no screenplay nomination, which is interesting. That it was the first time an all-black producing team had been nominated for Best Picture for Judas and the Black Messiah, which is awesome. I mentioned the Ryan Coogler thing, that it was his first nomination. It's the first time an Asian woman has been nominated for producing for Minari, to my understanding. Although some people said there was someone else, maybe that was confusing, but to my understanding that's true. And Iceland seems to have both the song with Eurovision and a Best Animated Short, but I think I might have said that. Also this week, it was a generally good week. I can't think of too much. So I was on international TV. I guess I can talk about that. If you saw, I posted it on Instagram and Twitter and everywhere because, if you're going to be on international TV, why not brag about it, I guess. It was on this network, and I can never say it right. Well, I don't know the network very well, but it was on a show called Tales of Cinema, and it was about auteur theory, and they came to me because of the What is Auteur Theory video, and they had me answer some questions. I'm only in it for really, really quick. If you go by the link that's on one of my community posts on Twitter and stuff, if you go by that link, it says it's 4 minutes and 4 minutes and 5 seconds. It was cool being on, it's always cool being on TV. It's cool being on TV, but it's weird being on TV where you can't watch it on TV. We can watch it through the site, but, it was just cool. And it's an Arabic TV channel, in London. Apparently it does play to other Arabic speaking countries. So I actually don't know where they saw it. Apparently they told me when they interviewed me, my name was going to be hard to translate in Arabic, and I had a friend at work who he was like, yeah, that's gonna be real difficult. So I don't know, it's interesting. But I've been on public access in Brooklyn and now Arabic TV. So clearly I'm doing the usual ascension of television, I guess. But I don't know if it was a good experience. I would totally do it again. It was a very quick thing. It was exciting. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, I'm Blood Tea. How's it going? It was interesting. It's cool to be considered among serious film people. I kind of like that. It was kind of nice. I never get to be a talking head and stuff. So I was like, cool. Even though I had real headphones and everyone else had those. Everyone has the Apple ones. I think they look stupid. I don't really get it. I never think they're very good. I don't get people who get expensive Apple ones. It's like, what? Anyway, I can judge their headphones. But I don't know if they use the best thing. I guess that would be my only thing with it of the answers I gave them. But whatever. No, I was on public access. You can watch them on... Well, sometimes they play them on Brooklyn Free Speech, but if you're a patron, they're on the Patreon exclusive playlist every episode. So I was, that has happened. Yeah. There were a bunch of episodes. It was over 10 at least. Anyway, what else happened? I guess Oscars, man. What did Sophie? Oh, we watched that Ghost show on Netflix, and I really like that. That's a very calm kid show. What was that? Is that the cats? It's a very calm kid show, but it was good. She liked it. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be like, oh, Dad's making me watch this, but she was into it. I think that's a really good kid show. I want to watch more. Although the mochi waffles and mochi thing, that's like been taking over the house. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Sinram. Hello. Got my attention there. Thank you for the super chat. Regarding Austin's question last stream, the Oscars could nominate stunt coordinators for a film instead of individual stunts or stunt performers. That's how they handle visual effects nominees instead of recognizing individual shots. That's a good call, Sinram. That's a good call. I like your idea. I've never actually heard of that. That's a good way to put it. So you just so that would handle the whole getting recognized thing. Okay. And so it wouldn't it would also, the other thing I like about that is the other thing people are worried about is people do more dangerous, crazier stunts, and therefore maybe that would help the whole team win, but it's not just for that thing, and then they could have anonymity because it's like, okay, that's really smart. I like that. That's a good idea. That's the best way I've heard the thing to be handled. So thank you very much for that, Sinram, and cheers to you. Thank you for your generosity. Cheers to you. But yeah, City of Ghosts, it's a cool show because well, City of Ghosts is cool because it's like these kids interview people in LA and you learn about LA history and stuff. And I'm not one to care about LA history at all, but they make it really fascinating and cool in a kid's way, which I really like. Oh, hello, Cade Neosporin Rebuild. That's a cool one. But Mochi Waffles and Mochi is a like a kid show. Michelle Obama made it. It's like a puppet show, and you learn about food and stuff, and that's been the big hit. But City of Ghosts is like a good, the kids to chill out, which I think is like a hard thing for a kid show to do. There's not a lot of kid shows that can like do that, and it does it really well. I don't think there's anything else. We didn't really do a movie night. We did a lot of them over a break there. So, although I want to show her Godzilla vs. Kong soon, the original, not that she's not watching that new one. I mean, I am, of course, but yeah. Okay, done writing the wolf. Oh man, there's a Wolfman fact from Cornbread. Let's hype this up. All right. Let's see. Was there anything else that happened? I don't think so. Pizza Party came out. There's another one we recorded. Videos. Put out my best of the year. Sorry it's so late. It was really just because I was very confused on how to do it, but it's out. Sorry I didn't do a premiere. I'm going to do a premiere for my Snyder Cut review. I'm not sure if that'll be out Tuesday or Wednesday. If the review for Helluva Boss comes out Tuesday, then you know it's Wednesday. So that's a good way to tell. And yeah, the instant premiere thing sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I did one for my slow-mo thing with my brother's music. I had sent it to him earlier in the week, and I wasn't sure when I'd put that out. But, yeah. What else came out this week? Oh, yeah, Raya, and, man, it's been a long week of stuff. Nothing on Monday. It's just been like a constant. I think it's been like, since Friday or something? There was some on Monday. There's been a lot. This is like a long stretch. I'm going to be working on the thing we did. Might come out in April, May. Okay, that interview I did with Austin, I'm really proud of. I think that's going to be really good. And before I get to other things, sorry, this is like the most boring small talk one. The Magnificent Ambersons thing, I think I'm going to have that script done. I think that's going to come out in April, thank God. If you ever wondered why more people don't do lost media stuff that's more extensive on Magnificent Ambersons, I have learned. I've learned why. There's a lot of details. But the cool thing is I don't get to do deep. I don't do a lot. Every now and then I get to do like a deep cinephile thing. And I think this is much like the Pauline Kael thing or what is auteur theory and things like that. But I think let's do, it's cool to do that occasionally, for the culture, for the cinephile culture, because it needs it, I guess. Anyway, all right. So, Oscar stream. People, did you guys like the Oscar stream? I thought it was a good stream. I wouldn't mind doing a random Monday thing. Before we get into the things, it might be 3 parts. We did talk for a while, but it was really good. That's one of my better things I've done. Interviews I've done. Austin did a good job. Y'all should be hyped. All right. So, the segments later in the show, it's going to be Helluva Boss, Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1, and there's going to be a surprise segment, which I wasn't sure I was going to do. I was not sure. But I learned a movie fact, so I got to share it. Should we do that now? Before? Let's do the thingies. Nah, it'll be the third kind of story in this. I learned a movie fact. I never heard it before. Maybe you knew it, but I'm going to say it later in the show. It's a surprise. I'm not going to do this every time, but sometimes if I find a movie fact, and we'll make it a separate thing, because I sort of like letting people know stuff. I like passing on information like that. All right, so before we get to, let's get into it. It says let's pay some bills. I guess this is this section. But I saw Izzy's GoFundMe reached its fundraising goal. So congratulations to Izzy. Still, if you still would like to donate, it is still there. Please donate if you can. But congratulations to everyone who's watching this who donated, who helped Izzy out in this time of need. Thank you so much. That is very incredible of everyone. That is amazing. Thank you all so much. There's just, I don't know. I saw that happened before the stream. I was like, fuck yes. Also, what? No. Spam text. Also, this and everything I do is supported pretty much by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show when anyone's generous enough to do so, and I take a shot or swig of Red Bull, however you want to call it. And then maybe I should have a shot glass. Would that make it more interesting? I don't know. Let me know, I guess. A film theory. Nice, Ryan. Okay, sorry. Either through super chats during the show or my Patreon, which is linked below, which is everything from postcards, Skype calls, exclusive content like my commentary series. There's the Knock Force one that'll probably come out tomorrow night, and all sorts of cool stuff. And it helps you support the show and helps me be able to get everyone geez, Zane Powers, which helps me get everything from new equipment, like my newer computer. I've kind of had an equipment upgrade in the last year or so. So all of that is through your donations, and it helps me be able to continue to make stuff in general. So, and helps support the show and helps it expand. So if you're financially able to do so, I very much appreciate it. If not, if you could just give it, just giving it, I heard a rumor, Matt. I don't know anything about that. Just giving the show a like or subscribing or just watching and enjoying in general. Thank you very much. You can share, if you can like, whatever you can do. I appreciate it. And thank you all very much. I have a really great audience. I'm very happy about that. Why are you still using Skype? I just do, and Discord and my phone have never worked for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Zane Powers' surly self tonight, I guess, the Discord is really an amazing community. It was started by Zane Powers and Austin, and they do a great job of running it. And you can hang out in all sorts of things like gaming, movie chat. You can tell me stories to talk about on Movie Crap Live. You can give me suggestions. You can ask me questions. You can talk to other people who watch these videos. All sorts of cool stuff. It is a great community. I even post like, what do you guys want me to talk about in general on Saturday during the day, so I can get a sense of like what you, the audience, wants to hear. It's a really great server. If you've never been on Discord, I highly recommend it. They do a great job, and they even do movie watch-alongs, so they do an awesome job. Oh, they did Rango last night. That's cool. Maybe I should do Throwback with Rango soon, although I was going to do my other Justice League review. So at some point, the throwback video should be Rango. But anyway, Nattenbach64 asks, what do you think of Post Malone? Well, thank you for the super chat, Nanbox64. Cheers to you. I do like Post Malone. I'm not as obsessed with him as some people are, but I like Sunflower a lot, and Sunflower got me to listen to other stuff. It's been a little bit, but I do like Post Malone. I enjoy what he does. I don't get why he's like uber popular, but I think Sunflower is like a great song. I'll tell you that. Aren't we all Post Malone? Sorry. Uh, the other thing is, someone asked me, was it Natboxy4 asked me about Dua Lipa, and I was like, oh, I'm just not into it and all this stuff. And I realized I needed to actually listen to the Future Nostalgia album, and I did, and she's really great. Now I'm like obsessed, so I've been listening to her a lot this week. That was a really good. I was listening to her the wrong way because I think I was doing Spotify wrong because I was just listening to like, what are their top 5 songs? Those are the best 5 songs. Don't everyone. My wife told me that was a bad idea. I shouldn't have been doing that. So that's on me. I'm stupid. I don't know. I don't know how the Spotify works. Clearly, I was doing it wrong, and it was like I was like I heard it was like her and Megan Thee Stallion, and I like Megan Thee Stallion, and I listened to the Suga album, and I was like, okay, this I like a lot. And the Savage song, I don't get like why is Beyonce on the remix? I just don't like the thing. I don't know. It's like, why is Beyonce on that? Megan's good enough. I don't know. Beyonce, I mean, I appreciate that Beyonce was on it and all that. I just don't really get it. It's Rango's 10th anniversary month. Man, I saw it in theaters 10 years ago, and that review is 10 years old. I do like, you know what? I do like that Levitate song, Jordan Powers. I'm very into that song. I don't know if I like the Baby as much. Da Baby. There's a little baby. I need to figure out the baby thing. Anyway. Oh, that made my cat Toulouse jump. All right. Sorry, Toulouse. He's sleeping on the couch over there. I love you want to talk about mountain music? What? All right. Plart is a sunflower? I'm confused. All right. So King of the Hill revival or reboot. What's going on with this? This is not the first time we've heard about this. We've heard that it's something they want to happen, but we heard somewhat of an update, although it wasn't like this is happening. It was this is in hot negotiations, I guess I would say, or tense negotiations. But Brett Forrester, who's a producer on King of the Hill, said that Mike Judge and Greg Daniels are in, I think it was active or whatever, negotiations over a King of the Hill reboot. Now, Mike Judge has a fairly full dance card on a lot of different things. So I'm not sure if this is a possibility. And let's go to a super chat from Will, said, got done with the Snyder Cut, and this might be considered a hot take, but I found it to be as much of a mess as the 2017 Frankenstein Snyder, man. He hasn't learned a thing. You know what? I needed that. Thank you, Will. Cheers to you. That's like everyone else is like, you know what? It's a lot better and all this stuff. And Will's like, nah, fuck that. Zack Snyder sucks. Thank you, Will. Cheers to you. That was good. All right. But Mike Judge, like, that Time Warner deal fell apart because he didn't have enough time for it. He's doing all that stuff with Beavis and Butthead. I wonder how much he can be involved in it, although I think part of what made King of the Hill work was not just Mike Judge, it was also Greg Daniels, who went on to produce The Office, and he did that very successfully. So we'll see what happens with this. Greg Daniels can pretty much do whatever he wants. So can Mike Judge. I can imagine getting them both back would be insanely expensive. It's like there's not going to be Luann. That has me worried. I also don't like that, like, Mike Judge, I don't want him to spend the 2020s making revivals of shit. Like, maybe The Good Family, sure. But no, but I just don't want that to happen. And as much as I like King of the Hill, he's a very talented, unique voice, and having him sort of wasted on reboots is just like very unappealing to me. I would like him to come up, direct movies and do what he is good at. But yeah, Luann's not going to be there. I have heard that one of the ideas is that, like, it would be Bobby would be the dad and so forth. I'm not sure about that. There's also the Trump issue. Like, how are they going to handle Trump? Do we want to have those characters go through the Trump thing? I just find it to be worrying. The whole idea of it. I think they could majorly fuck it up. But whomever wants it, I think it would be a big deal if they did it. But they have to do it correctly. I would imagine you really would have to be perfect with it, and that would be a very hard thing to do. So we'll see what happens with this. I think the fact that Mike Judge is uberly busy and that Greg Daniels has other stuff going on too makes me think that, like, unless they have another creative team, but do you want that from King of the Hill? Are they going to be good enough? And, no Luann, and there's just too many things like that I don't know. I feel like King of the Hill ended in a complete way, and if nothing happens, I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't mind like a movie or a special, but a show, or is like, who's Bobby? What's Bobby's situation going to be? And it's like, but then oh, no Tom Petty either. Fuck. I didn't think of that. Well, I don't want this. Just I want Mike Judge. I understand he might be making a ton of money, but Trump's handshake is limp. Hates him. 2J723. Thank you. Cheers to you. Thank you for the super chat. I actually had a similar experience. I had an actual weak handshake thing with Martin O'Malley. When I was a teenager, I met him and he had a weak handshake, and I automatically knew he was full of shit. And then that Carcetti thing happened on The Wire, and then he didn't get anywhere for president. That guy sucks. Anytime, I don't really care. I know I'm going off on somebody nobody knows, but I don't care. Martin O'Malley is such a weak person. I've never respected that guy, and I've been in his airspace so many times, but I did shake his hand, and I was thoroughly unimpressed with him as a human being. So whatever. That actually happened. This is like been a thing since the late 90s that I did not like Martin O'Malley, who the character of Carcetti is based on The Wire, and he tried to run for president for the Democrats. He was like a mayor or something in Baltimore. Like, none of you know who he is, but yeah, I've had a similar Hank Hill thing. My brother's like when he saw the King of the Hill episode, he was like, Jim, this is you. Anyway, that guy sucks. He's barely a human. All right, so Disney Plus is gonna bring back all this Star Wars stuff. I did not expect to go in on Martin O'Malley. Okay, Disney Plus is going to bring back a lot of the Star Wars stuff that I was sort of stuck with as a kid, and also I think most importantly Gendy's Clone Wars. I hope we get a really good 4K whatever of Gendy's Clone Wars run. I kind of wonder why they didn't put that on there. I'm assuming because they had the newer Clone Wars and the newer Clone Wars, and they didn't want any confusion or something like that. Or they do. I think Disney does like having these weekends where it's like, it's Dinosaurs weekend, it's the Muppet Show week, you know what I mean? Like they're very good at like parsing out the library. So I think it might have been, I'm sure they went like, well, what if we just waited on this Gendy thing and then we put it out and everybody's going to be all excited and shit. So I think that's probably part of it. I also think, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Hashtag bring back the giant rat. Sorry, not sorry, cornbread. Cheers to you, Austin. Oh my god, this thing. Get Martin O'Malley on the next pizza party. I like that discuss Snyder. I like this giant rat, Wolfman, Cantina, Star Wars holiday, obscure Star Wars character off that's going on in my chat and Discord. This is hilarious. Cheers to you. But the Gendy thing is generally awesome. We're also getting the Ewok movies, which if you were a kid who only had 3 Star Wars movies and USA Network was doing an Ewok movie marathon in the mid-90s, oh boy. That was what lit was when I was 12. And It was the mid-90s. This is a crazy one. All right. And then also the Boba Fett part of the holiday special is coming out. I will say, if you were to save any part of it, that is a really good cartoon. I like that cartoon a lot, actually. I'm a little confused, like, Disney Plus, like, they keep hinting at the Star Wars holiday special, but not releasing the Star Wars holidays. Like, we have a Lego special. We have the actual cartoon from the holiday special. And we have a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. It's like, just release the fucking thing. Like, I don't understand at this point. You exploit the idea of the holiday special. Like, this is the only Star Wars thing that they're not putting on there. I would love to know Lucas's deal with, like, the special editions and the holiday special, because, like, goddamn, just, like, what is wrong? Who would win, the giant rat or the wolf man? Zane Powers, I can't answer that question. That's very political. I'm sorry, Austin, but I think the Wolfman will win. I'm sorry, Zane Powers. How dare you? Cheers to you. Everyone wants Star Wars Detours, but is there any inclination that will be good? Like, I don't think so. I don't think it would. And that's true. I wonder why droids. Anyway. DuckTales Season 3 is going to be on Disney Plus, as well as Oklahoma, the classic musical, which will be nice to have that on a streaming service. They seem to be using the one thing about Disney Plus is I think there is a lot of families use that service for family movie night, and they feel a little confirmed, like, oh, you have Sound of Music, you have Mary Poppins. Oklahoma would fit really well into that, as well as, and I think this will be the one that I haven't seen as much coverage on. The Kid Who Would Be King is going to be on Disney Plus on April 16th, which I think will be the biggest push that films probably have since it came out. I actually have a review shot of that at my old apartment that I need to edit at some point. Okay, so who would be a better president, Giant Rat or Wolfie? Well, okay, Giant Rat is far more agreeing to my political perspective than the Wolfman. So I will give that to Giant Rat. Giant Rat just would understand how to get, he knows how to run a country. Wolfman is clueless. I don't think that would be a disaster. Cheers to you. All right. So we're going to talk about, this is my secret segment, because I learned a movie fact this week, and I had never heard of this, despite knowing this thing is a fact for a long time. So let's get into this. All right. So, this is my weird segment, side segment. I don't know if people know this. Maybe you guys know this. Maybe I am being very presumptive, so I apologize if you guys do know this. This isn't a surprise. And I'm not going to have a cool movie history fact every week. Wolfman's got nards. Of course someone's going to do that. Of course. Wolfman's got nards. He does, and I know that was his campaign poster, but he doesn't have the intellect to be the president. Cheers to you, Ryan. All right. So, let's get into this. Here is the thing that I learned. While I was doing... Oh my god, all these super chats. It's making it hard to do this. Who wins in a fight, Giant Rat or Paul Blart? Well, I think Paul Blart would win. Paul Blart never loses. He's like the Goku Superman Paul Blart. Everyone knows that. Cheers to you, Bloxy. Okay. So, this week, I'm just gonna do this segment, and afterwards I will do the any super chats that happen, so I can just get through this, because I like to do this in one chunk, if you don't mind. All right. I saw the film Ma Rainey's Black Bottom this past week, and while I was researching it and listening to reviews and listening to the critically acclaimed podcast, one of the hosts, William Bibliani, mentioned that one of the actors in it, Glynn Turman, had actually been considered to play Han Solo. And I was like, what? I'd never heard that. Now, if you didn't know, Glynn Turman, who's in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, is one of the people in the band, is a black actor. And he's a very good actor. He's been in stuff from The Wire to A Different World to House of Lies, Super 8, all these things. I think he's very good. And he's very good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom as well. He plays, was it Toledo? Oh, Toledo. I was right. Okay. He plays Toledo in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So, of course, when I heard this on the critically acclaimed podcast, I had to look this up and see what the deal was. And what I learned from the site Geeks of Color, and when this is a separate video, there'll be a link in the description, they had an article on it, and it seemed like pretty much every article I could find on this, on Glynn Turman auditioning to play Han Solo, they pretty much used this article as the source, or just used the same info that this article had. So thus why I just use this. So here's what happened. His quote from an interview from Yahoo Entertainment says, "I remember going to see George Lucas for a picture they were going to do called Star Wars. At the time, George Lucas was a big deal. He'd made American Graffiti and so forth. At the time, it was an audition. I went and I auditioned. I forgot all about it. And then I went right into JD's Revenge and 2 or 3 films after that. Of course, the film would come out and it was a gigantic hit, but I almost didn't even remember that. I had gone for it. I didn't see up there on the screen what part I was auditioning for. So to me, I said, oh, they cut the part of the black guy. I had no idea that part was Han Solo." And he actually didn't know for a long time. And he didn't know until the George Lucas book Skywalking, which I used to have, but Geeks of Color has a very good quote explaining the excerpt from the book that says, Lucas was, and this part, I'm going to be honest, this part does not age well, and why Lucas chose not to have him in there, and I don't like this part, but whatever. It's what happened. But Lucas said, this is the extract from the book Skywalking. Lucas was aware that if he developed the love interest between Han and Leia, an interracial couple, would cause problems. He said, "I didn't want to make Guess Who's Coming to Dinner at that point, so I sort of backed off." I don't know how aware he was when he made Star Wars that Han and Leia were going to hook up. Maybe he did. I don't know. The Guess Who's Coming, I will agree, Guess Who's Coming Dinner, not an amazing movie or anything. But Lucas, bad choice of words there. I'm not in love with that. But I will say, and Glynn Turman has said later, as much as he doesn't like that the first Star Wars, and this is something that even at the time people criticized, didn't have any people of color in it, he liked that they actually thought about it, actually. Like, no one in Hollywood in 1977 even was thinking about it. And to have even colorblind casting, or consider having colorblind casting, is fairly progressive. And I will say George Lucas is a very progressive guy. He's, donated to the Martin Luther King, was it memorial or big statue thing in Washington, D.C. He was in fact like at least trying out a black actor for that role. That was just like not happening then. And I think that's why, even Glynn Turman didn't realize what he was doing, because he was like, oh, my part's not in this movie, because that just didn't. And a lot of people did, like Burt Reynolds and Chris Rock and things like that. He was approached to play Lando Calrissian. That did not go to him. It instead went to Billy D. Williams, of course. And he does like that. Glynn Turman has said he likes that they had Billy D. Williams and even John Boyega in the sequel films. So it's kind of and he's like that they at least were trying to do something that was a little more progressive. I found this to be really interesting, and it shows you that George Lucas was open to doing different things and playing with this, and that's the bigger message for it. It also makes me interested. Like, I don't know of anything that Glynn Turman did that would make me think of Han Solo. Like, I was kind of thinking, like, what have I seen him in that would make me think he would be a good Han Solo? I don't think I can't think of that role. However, I don't know what his audition was, and maybe his audition was great. It's kind of an interesting alternate universe to think about what would Star Wars have been like with him? What would his life? What would his career? What was his portrayal going to be? We don't know. If I ever see him do a Han Solo kind of performance, I'm gonna be like, oh man, that seems like it could be cool. So, it's interesting to think what could have been, and it's interesting that Lucas was at least open to that, even if his ultimate conclusion was like not the greatest. But I do, and Glenn Turman seems to, in most interviews you can find, have more pleasant things to say about it, because he was actually rather shocked by it when he found out, and most people were. Nobody knew he was doing that at the time, and that wasn't something that was usually done. So it shows you that, what? Really? I didn't know that. Jordan Powers. Okay. I know George Lucas sometimes doesn't do the greatest, especially with ethnic stereotypes and things like that. But I will say that I think it is interesting. He was a little more open to casting than a lot of people were. And, it also makes me think, reminds me how great of an actor Glenn Turman was. And you can even see that in the recent Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And through all of his other works, really. He's a good actor. Okay, sorry. That was I learned something, so I told you. Is anyone sticking to their new reason? Hello, Adrian Sierra. All right. I just wanted to tell you a fact. I hope that wasn't too stupid. All right. We're gonna move on. I don't know. I hope people like that. I just wanted to share that, because I was like, I learned it. And did anyone know that? I don't think people knew that, right? All right. That'll probably be a separate video at some point. It's not really time sensitive. George Lucas is cringy sometimes. Guess who's coming to Alderaan? I like how many people. Oh, I like that Adrian's here. I like how many people are coming up with guess who coming to dinner jokes now. That is a bad quote. That movie is not great, and I do feel like that was everyone's 60s and 70s excuse. Like, yeah, but if we do that, we'd have to make it lame. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's. The government doesn't write those things, guys. I think. Maybe you're just a little racist. I don't know. He's funny in his cringiness. All right. So this is, of course, Snyder Cut weekend. So I'm going to talk about all the Snyder Cut crap in a nice little chunk here. So if you've been patiently watching the show, like I saw the Snyder Cut, I really, whoa, here we go. Ryan's kicking off the Snyder Cut section. Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Hold on. Someone asked a question? Someone said, oh, I'm confused. Anyway, let's say Ryan says the essential point of Snyder. Okay. The essential point of Snyder rebounding from a career catastrophe, making it right, is demonstrated in the personal dilemma of each superhero. Zack Snyder's Justice League restored vision reminds us of pop art's value. Quote from Armand White. Oh God, he's still doing things. I don't agree with some of these Justice. I haven't seen the whole movie, so we'll see. But Jesus. Someone's working the thesaurus mad hard. Someone's like, I know words. I'm going to use them all smart. And Armand White. Anyway, Ryan, thank you for that quote regardless. Cheers to you. If you don't have any type of message, like, Ryan will send me something and I'll respond and go back. But by the way, not to you. What you got against Sidney Poitier? Sidney Poitier was good in that. Was he good in that? It's been a long time. I don't remember. I remember Katharine Hepburn and Sidney Poitier were not. Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. Ever against Sidney Poitier and Spencer Tracy. Well, you got. I like Sidney Poitier. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. All right. Did Armand White come out of retirement for the Snyder Cut? Like he's like Mr. Snyder Cut fanboy. All right. So let's get into this. First, what do you think I'm going to start this off with? with the thing that we're all wondering. I haven't gotten to that point in the Snyder Cut, but welcome. We live in a society is apparently not in the Snyder Cut. Everyone in the chat put an F for for what we live in the society not being in there. What happened with that? Apparently, it was not Zack Snyder's fault. Of course, because it was cringy as fuck. Jared Leto came up with having that. It is only in the trailer. It was his idea to only have it in the trailer because Jared Leto loves the memes. I guess. I don't. God. Some people told me they like that scene. I don't know. In other Zack Snyder did. Wow, we get a lot of Fs. I can confirm it's not the movie. Hello, Phaser. I don't know if I've seen you before, but hello. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah. I don't know. I like that he just threw Jared Leto under the bus. But if you're going to throw anyone under the bus, it should always be Jared Leto. And it should be like an actual bus. Or you could send him to Mars in 30 seconds. I don't see why that's a big issue. So Zack Snyder has also talked about his plans for Justice League 2 and 3 and whatever the fuck. And he wanted to make more Batman and Superman movies and then lead to these Justice Leagues and all these things. The interesting things about these plans are that he wanted to have Superman, basically Lois would die and would cause this time thing, and Batman knew he had to sacrifice himself to save Lois, and then when he did that and Lois came back, with Superman and Lois Lane had a baby, despite the discussion in Mallrats. I think Ben Affleck would have corrected them, but whatever. Then the third one, and Superman's kid wouldn't have powers, which makes me think Superman's kid would have a major complex. Can you imagine if your dad was Superman and you just weren't? That sucks. That they take him to the Batcave and they name him Bruce Kent. I just can't. All the DC stuff, it's like, I don't think DC is stupid, but they do so many stupid things. It was like the end of the Joker, where like they killed his Bruce Wayne versus parents. I was like, of course this movie's not dumb. Oh my god, I just don't. And isn't all the Aquaman people have different accents because Zack Snyder? Although I am glad all the stuff that Wonder Woman 1984 set up for the Snyder Cut, it's like it made so much more sense now I've seen Wonder Woman 1984. So this was, I think Ryan, when he posted in the Discord and to me, said, this is fun to see. So Zack Snyder was on this is the last Zack Snyder thing. I guess there's a Joss Whedon thing, but whatever. This is it can be the end of the segment. Joss Whedon doesn't get a segment on Snyder Cut weekend. Zack Snyder was on a stream that was associated with the YouTube channel Geeks and Gamers, which I had never heard of until this past week. I like that there's so many alt-right nerd YouTubers who make hundreds of videos about Brie Larson. There's ones that they're literally they're too many to count. Like the content farm that was hating Brie Larson is amazing. It's like when people go on rants about her, I was like, really? Anyway. Oh, you want me to talk about the Green Lantern thing? Well, he said there was going to be Green Lantern's cut, and he was trying to get Ryan Reynolds. Sorry, I didn't talk about that. Sorry. But, yeah, so he was on the stream, and he shows up, and they're, like, all happy. They have Zack Snyder. He goes real quick. I wanted to say, despite the fact that the Geeks and Gamers tag is on the donation page, we are not associated with him. I talked to you guys about this before, and all this stuff. So there's a couple things about this thing that he did that I actually find really interesting. One is that he does mention that he's not for, like, especially this week, any racism, the racism towards Asian people that have been going on in this country. He's very much against. He has Asian children as well, which he mentioned, all those things. But also, which I'm glad he did that. I think that's actually pretty cool that he is apparently a lot of times, and even Pedro Pascal has specifically mentioned geeks and gamers and said negative things about them. Like people from the community who are major figures have been going after these people and basically calling them out and being like, this is not okay. I do not like this. And this seems to be going, I think, there seems to be a growing concern of people who are actual nerds and geeks to take these people out, because a lot of people mention they don't do research. It doesn't seem like they actually read or like much of what they're doing. They've just sort of a surface level appreciation for these things, which is fine in a certain degree, but you're making so much content you think you would have a better understanding of things. But that's a whole other thing. But here's the thing. It's like these people were so obsessed with The Last Jedi seems to be the focal point that started a lot of these people. And then Brie Larson. And they had the Snyder Cut. Okay, so clearly Captain Marvel 2 I don't think is shooting for a while. So that's kind of not something they can really get into. Brie Larson has a YouTube channel, whatever. She's just not, doing anything highly public right now. Last Jedi was like a movie ago. You can't still really complain about this to the same degree. So Zack Snyder comes on. It's Snyder Cut weekend. They know this is the peak for them. And he clearly states like he didn't want the Geeks and Gamers thing on there. And what I think really happened, and I think this is all part of their grift actually, and I don't think I'm being too conspiratorial, because if you deal with a celebrity guest, wait, what? Okay, I'll get back to that in a second. I'll get back to you in a second. But okay, never mind. Well, we're opening the second Red Bull. Now I can't get back to it. Sorry. Ryan Walsh says, okay, I missed Colbert last night, but turns out Jared Leto was wearing a beanie and an ascot and a "We Live in a Society" shirt in lowercase. Jesus. Cheers to you. Jared Leto is a meme. Cheers to you, Ryan. But anyway, so when you have a guest on, like when we have a guest on Pizza Party, something like that, they usually have like, it's not like crazy demands. It's like, can you please mention my channel or my Twitter, or can I plug something? It's like those aren't crazy demands. It's like pretty normal. You know what I'm saying? And I bet you Zack Snyder said before the stream, I want the Geeks and Gamers thing taken off. Like I don't want it on there. And they kept it. And I think one of the reasons they kept it is they looked at, what are we going to do after the Snyder Cut? I know. Let's flip this around, and now let's hate on Zack Snyder and say, oh, he was basically virtue signaling, which is this shitty term they've come up with, and all these things. They want to bring up, they basically saw an opportunity and they took it. And I don't know if they knew he would react in that way, but I think they thought like they were probably told specifically he does not want that on there. And they thought, and when he was there, they knew he wouldn't leave. So they basically thought they could either get away with it and be fine, or that he would complain about it. And I think it's going to actually sort of work out for them, because I know so many people who suddenly know about them because of this. And so I either think they planned it to a certain degree. We've never been asked to tone it down. We try to, but we've never been asked. I do think they sort of figured out a way to make like a couple months more content, but I think they're sort of fucked, because like, do people even want to hear that kind of content anymore? I think they're sort of done. So I think they basically use Zack Snyder to create somewhat of a new controversy. That's my conspiracy theory. But my God, the 10-12 minute videos they talk about over a small exchange and get so upset about and stuff, just like they're long explanations with such nonsense words. They are so awful. Anyway, I'm glad that Zack Snyder did that. Props to him. it seems to me from what I read, I don't think he'll make more Justice League stuff. I think he's sort of done. I think he's moving on with his life, which I think is a good thing. So in other news, there was a guy who, Joss Whedon, came out that he apparently was very hurt by the reaction to, um, um, I don't really watch Midnight's Edge. As I kept getting recommended them, and every now and then they have an interesting, like a real piece of info, but they really stopped even doing that. It just got like crazy, and then they went for a couple weeks on Conan stuff. It was weird, um, which was a little interesting, but they're not as geeks and gamers as I was like, whoa, I can't even sit through this. Um, Joss Whedon, it came out, was particularly hurt by the reaction to Age of Ultron, and even would refer to actors as like the wrong names and stuff during the shooting of Justice League. I have heard some interesting. I've heard new. I've heard actual comic book nerds talk about Age of Ultron and how, because that was more of like the Avengers comic. The rest of the Avengers movies are kind of team up things, and I think there was sort of a different adaptation that was going on there, because Ultron is like the comic Avengers, but if you look at Endgame and Infinity War, aren't really Avengers. Um, oh shit, wasn't there a no? I did the rhyme. Weren't really Avengers things. The only real Avengers comic ones were the first two, and I think he didn't take that well, and I think it showed like the Avengers movies were more about being a team up than being an adaptation of the comic. And I've heard some big comic book fans were didn't, although they don't think that it's not the best movie, but I think it took on a different thing, and I'd heard that he didn't take that well even at the time, but it's sort of weird. I like Age of Ultron, but it's weird he took that so hard. He sounds like the worst person ever. Anyway, Zane Power says, but there is a restore the Snyder cut, and because it's been made into a hashtag, that means it's guaranteed to happen. I feel like the restore the Snyder cut thing is extra sad, I gotta say, but um cheers to you, Zane Powers. Cheers to you. I like anyway. Um Also, the other thing is like, you guys really think Ben Affleck's coming back to that? That ain't happening. That's just like, I could see like some of the other people, but I don't think Warner Brothers could get him back for more than the Flashpoint thing. So, all right. So moving on to OKKO and what happened this past week. Full disclosure, Ian and I worked on this Flash cartoon. He was a voice on Cletus the Fetus. We sort of know each other. I don't know if you knew that. But he did an interview where he confirmed what canceled OKKO, because that's been, I think most people wanted that to continue, but of course, unfortunately, it did not. So what happened basically is he brought up that when the AT&T Warner deal merger did not go through right away, that it basically stopped the plan for OKKO and many other things, that a lot of these shows were going to move on to other be more app based and internet based rather than based on ratings, and that was the plan for these shows. But of course that didn't happen, and then they cut the shows and there was no new spending and everything like that. I think it's sad that happened to that show, because I thought it was a really good show. But I also think Warner Brothers, it makes it sound like they're not organized enough, that they would. I just think like this is a general life thing. Don't make plans for something that hasn't happened yet, even if you think it will definitely happen. I don't know. It's not, I mean, Ian's fault or anything, but the fact that they just didn't. I think that show would have probably done better on a streaming service. I could see it being memed more, screenshotted more, things like that being more accessible. But I think it's like the fact that it wasn't more accessible till HBO Max, which was years later. It's unfortunate. It seemed like there were certain people that were supportive, but it came from the higher ups at Warner Brothers, and it didn't continue on. And I think that is, it's sad that it happened that way. Basically, I wish it had not happened that way. But it's basically because of Donald Trump's kind of, I guess he didn't like CNN and he didn't like Warner Brothers and he didn't want to approve that merger, so he stopped it basically. So it shows you, I don't know, the pettiness of Trump, but I sort of blame more Warner Brothers. I blame Trump, and I would like someone to make fan art of Trump hitting, of OKK, of KO punching Trump. I'm surprised that hasn't happened. Someone should do that. But I do think Warner Brothers should not have planned, and AT&T should not have made this whole plan before it was like official, and they should have just supported the show better and like pushed it farther on their app, and maybe their app could have been a little better because their Roku app is sort of garbage. And there's a lot, I kind of look at them as like they failed, the network failed the show, basically. You know, it's like they can blame Trump, and certainly if that had gone through, maybe, but I also feel like the network failed the show. That's my personal opinion. That's just coming from me. Nattenbach64 says, saw the news on OKKO. Thanks for nothing, Trump, as well as Pence, Steve Mnuchin, and fucking Jared, John Oliver. Cheers to you, Nattenbach64. But I think Warner Brothers shouldn't have planned for something. Certainly mergers go through, but they still take a while, and I just think there's a lot they could have done for that show, and they should have stepped up a little better. You know? And you know, and Trump should have done the thing. So I blame Trump, I blame Trump, I blame Warner Brothers, I blame AT&T. I blame everybody who's not Ian and anyone who worked on that show. I think they did a good job. I don't know. They didn't seem. It's also like they, if anything, it shows what you need to do in entertainment is be malleable and be able to change things, and that's actually something. And I'm gonna is the what Disney has said they're going to do, and we heard from Bob Chapek, I guess, is that they're going to leave it to basically the last minute to decide what to do with certain movies. Whether they're going to be just on Disney Plus, whether they're going to be Premier Access, or whether they're going to be theaters only. And apparently it's like to the wire to when like ads start running. You see posters everywhere. Like when you see when they really get the campaigns rolling, like the last minute they can possibly make that decision is apparently when they're going to do it. A lot of people think this means that like maybe because vaccinations, it's so hard to get a vaccine. I don't think if they really want Black Widow to be huge, I think the whole idea of like holding these movies forever is immensely stupid. It's just like just make it Premier Access, but I think they know it'll get it'll basically get destroyed. But it's basically like, guys, like the whole idea that you're gonna have $1 billion movie in the next year is utterly stupid. Like, just get over it. But we'll see. Right now it has the same release date, but we'll see. So Adult Swim made a couple big announcements. One, that Bird Girl, which is a spinoff of Harvey Birdman, is going to come out on April 4th. Which someone was asking me earlier, that person who doesn't have a name who's in the chat, mentioned, do I think they'll do something for April Fool's Day? They did remind me I should just turn on Adult Swim on April Fool's Day, so I think I will, because they had a lot of cool premieres and stuff on last April Fool's. It was like Smiling Friends, which I don't think, have they given a series order to yet? I think it's been a while. What is Buster? Oh, he's just cleaning himself? Okay. We'll see that. They also had a preview of Tuca and Birdie, which looked just like a couple scenes of Tuca and Birdie season 2. Remind me, I need to sit down and watch. Maybe I should do a review of Tuca and Birdie season 1. Because I never really got to sit down with that show, so I think I should do that. I like Adrian Sierra's here. He said, here's my guess as to what's happening outside of Jim's place. A guy cooks soup in a can. He wonders if he has enough salt for seasoning. He has a dog. He's sick but loyal. They might die. Go warning. Jesus. Shit. Wow. Okay. Moving, but I think Adult Swim, the one thing I think that is interesting about the Adult Swim announcements is both Harvey Birdgirl and Tuca and Birdie. It seems like what's going on there is Adult Swim is having more female focused shows. It seems that I know they're more male skewing, but I think because of the crossover success of Rick and Morty, they clearly want to appeal to multiple demographics. That seems to be an AT&T thing, which might actually be a good change, to be honest with you. So it seems to be interesting that they're doing that, but I guess we'll have to wait to see about April Fool's Day with Adult Swim. All right, so the Nickelodeon upfronts. A lot of stuff came out of that. It seems to me most of it is like reboot kind of crap because, of course, they do have certain things like ZK Sparkleton, I guess. Basically about a 10-year-old vlogger, Ruby. No, a quirky 10-year-old vlogger, Ruby, discovers her only channel follower is a tail-zapping space alien. That could be cool, like a iCarly. You have the hamster show. You have like a bunch of different things. The main thing that got announced, though, and I'll get to other things, so don't worry. The Rugrats, we got the voice cast for the adults, and the original voices of the babies are the same, but the adults, they got everyone from Tony Hale as Chucky's dad, Natalie Morales as Betty, also all sorts of Tommy's parents, Ashley Ray Spillers, Tommy Dewey. I don't love all this really. Michael McKean as Grandpa Lou Pickles. My thing with this is like I don't have anything really against these actors, but I'm really sick of just overcasting things. The original Rugrats cast of the parents were really good, and they were no names at the time, and nobody really complained about it. And I don't think any kids are really care that Tony Hale's there. And I understand that a lot of these people are voice actors, and Tony Hale especially, but I just find it to be, and I know some people have died and can't be in them and stuff, but could they have not gone to voice actors who like need the work, who are like not celebrities? Like, is it necessary? Like, is Tony Hale or Michael McKean, like, I like Michael McKean a lot, but it's like, do any of these people need the work? Like, it's just like, is there any sort of reason for this casting? I just don't like, I was really disappointed when I heard it, because it's just like, if they had said, here's, to me, it's like, if you hire one person who can like get a headline and just pad the rest out with like interesting voice casting, I would agree with that. But if you're just going to do it all the way around, that just feels so boring to me. I'm very disappointed by this, I gotta say. But I would like them to hire people who need that kind of recognition for their careers. Like Tony Hale is fine, he doesn't need it, or Michael McKean, or any of these people. It's just really disappointing, I thought. But we'll see. I will check it out, the Rugrats. They also announced things like Camp Coral, of course, is going to Nickelodeon. Patrick Star Show. Middlemost Post sounded cool. It's about it's a 2D animated about a former rain cloud, Parker, a former rain cloud, and Angus, a brawny delivery man, and Russell, their magic pet walrus, as they deliver packages to unusual inhabitants of Mount Middlemost. That sounds really cool. Middlemost Post, that's the one of all these I thought was really cool. They have a Smurfs thing. They have a Star Trek show, which all CG with weird aliens, which I kind of like that they're doing something with Star Trek, but it's Paramount, so of course. Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that Avatar shit. More with Baby Shark, of course. There's talk of Oh yeah, that was the other thing. There's talk of Paw Patrol spinoffs, but there was like no idea. It was just like, we could do that. I'm like, yeah, you could have done that a week ago. Why are you bothering me about it? Like, just do it. I don't understand. Leave me alone. And a live action TV movie based on The Loud House. So like a sitcom, I don't get it, guys. Basically, this could have been a lot better, and I've noticed people were mentioning how they are developing things. And I think Nickelodeon and Cartoon Climax said they don't have okay, well, I know the voice. Okay, well, I knew about certain people that died, but I just think it's like they could have. I like some of their originals. They're heavily trying to push all these branded things. It's kind of like, I like that Nickelodeon's trying to diversify itself from not just SpongeBob by also doing two different SpongeBobs. Okay. Noah Boozier said, why could they not have any updates on Real Pigeons or Phoebe and her Unicorn or Beat Buds or any other shows? It was just other shows already confirmed. I agree with that. I think they really did a disservice to a lot of what they could do as a network. And if they want to beat Cartoon Network, like, you could actually do that. Like, you could, especially right now, because Cartoon Network doesn't have a huge out of the box hit right now. And just like pushing as much branded stuff, I guess, is their way to do it. But if you had an original hit that's not just like, oh, cool, another decade where Transformers and SpongeBob are big. Wow, how innovative. Like, wow, blowing me away with this shit. All right. Just Nickelodeon's disappointing in general as a company. It hasn't been exciting since the 90s, maybe the 2000s, but it's just like, this is a lot better than they have been, but I'm still disappointed. So Don't Peek, which is an Animal Crossing short, which I actually finally watched. It's a horror short using Animal Crossing. It was actually really inventive and cool. I really liked it. But the guy who did Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, and did all those cool Russian sci-fi movies, is trying to develop a horror film based on it. It's a cool concept. Basically, whatever happens in Animal Crossing when this girl's playing it would happen in real life, like if you turn out a light, if you open a drawer, things like that, then an evil monster's there. I was like, I 100% could see this being a movie. It is a really good way. No, it's or it was the producer of Hardcore Henry, who was the Tamar guy. But if they do things with that, I could see that working. I thought that would make a great movie. I hope it works out. We'll see what happens. Alex Winter is working on a YouTube documentary. I like Alex Winter. I saw him speak once. I also watched his Napster documentary. I have a review of it somewhere, whatever that is called. Go find it. But I don't think he's the greatest documentarian. I think he's a smart guy. He's a really intelligent person, but he's making one about YouTube. My worry about this, and kind of my thing I don't like when people go into YouTube, is they go far too into the alt-right stuff. And I just talked about that. I do think it's a problem, but I almost like when people confront me about that, I'm almost like, that's not like the YouTube I'm involved in. Like, that's not the YouTube I see every day. And I sort of wish they'd get into more of the, I don't know. To me, it's like there's a lot of things you could say about the algorithm and how people make their living off of it and how they make money and like how they make content and how that's changed over time and how the way YouTube works changed it and things like that. And I'm not one of those people who's like, why don't you just talk about all the good? I'm actually not saying that. I'm saying like you should talk about like the whole hustle of it. You can talk about the alt-right side, but I feel like there's more to discuss there. That a lot of times people want to be like, yeah, but how did people vote for Trump again? Like, we're still doing articles on that, and I just really hope it's not that. I hope he does something more interesting, is what I mean. So we got the sad note today from the I guess these are two like Twitter animation stories in a row. Buster. So we got two kind of animation stories from Twitter this past week. This is from Rick Fourier, who worked at Blue Sky, and he tweeted today about Nimona. He said, believe me when I say that the people in charge tried, and we were very close to saving that film. Yesterday we found out it simply wasn't doable. I know all of us at Blue Skyers appreciate the support because there was a petition to make it happen. Apparently, it is not happening. It seems like it is not doable to do the 10 months they need to make Nimona. So, unfortunately, according to him, it is not happening. We haven't had an official statement from Blue Sky. I don't know what the deal was if Disney wouldn't let that out, what's going on with that, but that is sad and unfortunate that happened. I would have liked to see Nimona. There aren't really any more updates on that right now, but we'll see. Ryan has a super chat and said, shout out to Alex Winter's 1993 gem Freaked, one of the most delightfully surreal comedies, all coming from the director of Sposh the movie. Oh my god, you're right. Cheers to you, Ryan. That's actually the movie I saw that Alex Winter introduced. And then Death Wish 3, which was also fun. We also got from another Twitter thing, which then got deleted everywhere, but I did see it, that Cartoon Saloon worked on a rejected pilot for Winnie the Pooh. I think this would probably be like a Puff and Rock, which is a kid show they did, which is really great, I gotta say. So if they were going to bring that kind of magic to Winnie the Pooh, I think that could have been really amazing. To be honest with you, I think that could have been really cool. So it's sad that didn't happen. You can find them online. They're cool looks at it, but a lot of the info that was originally on has been deleted. I'm assuming Disney asked for them to be taken down, or the artist who made them, who had them on his blog for years and years. So anyway, so Peppa Pig is losing I'll just talk about this quick, but it's the writers who kind of created or stepping down. But these two writers of a show that I know Sophie liked and is really cool, called Sarah and Duck, are actually taking over Peppa Pig. I think that could be good for that show because it probably needs to have something pretty cool happen, I think. But I also think that Peppa Pig's such a huge kid brand. It's going to be keeping going for even more episodes with E1 and just continuing for infinity. But Sarah and Duck, that's a really good kid show. I think they could do some interesting things with Peppa Pig. Probably like keep it going for another 1,000,000 years. There's also an Everybody Hates Chris. There's talk of a follow-up to Everybody's Hates Chris, which is animated using Chris Rock's voice. There's no talk of using the original actor of Everybody Hates Chris or how they're going to do that or anything like, or continuity, but there's talk of that happening. There's also Olive. Hold on. Sorry. Cats are almost getting in a fight there. So about the Golden Globes, it seems like the Golden Globes are in a lot of danger right now. So what's going on with the Golden Globes? We might be going... we'll be okay, probably. What's going on with the Golden Globes is... so 100 different publicity firms came out this past week and basically said if the Golden Globes don't make significant change, they will not ask their clients to go to the Golden Globes, which would be bad because the Golden Globes are mainly known for having celebrities there. That's the only reason people watch them. And they have said they're going to have 13 African American members of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association before next year, but no one's sure what's going to go on. So what's going to really happen with the Golden Globes is this. To be in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, you have to write for a foreign publication. And what is going on down there? You have to write for a foreign publication and live in Los Angeles. And there aren't a lot of writers in general who write for foreign publications about movies. So that's a thing. And then, according to a lot of people, there aren't really enough African American writers or black writers who write for foreign publications to maybe even fulfill this thing. That there's been some doubt even on that, which is not, should this be on, because these publications are not necessarily part of the Halloween Foreign Press Association. It's just people who write for them who happen to be in Los Angeles. So to correct this, it seems to me like it might be impossible. It might not happen. It sounds like because they have a $50 million TV deal, yeah, that's true, with NBC, that they're probably going to figure out some bullshit to get it to work. But the other thing is that a lot of people are kind of just asking for the Golden Globes to go away after the shit show that they put on and after all their bullshit with, I think the Minari thing did not go over very well. I don't think they're in the best standing currently. So we might not have a Golden Globes after a while because there is like almost no way they can fulfill the thing that they want to, and there's very little they can do about that. There's like they don't own foreign publications, and not all of them are even editors. Like you don't have to be an editor. There might be a few. They're really going to have to pull some strings, which they're good at, but it seems like people are really investigating them hard. So I would not be surprised if we don't see another Golden Globes, but we'll see. Yeah, their rules to like be in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association are so specific, and a lot of them make their living on perks and like trips and payoffs and things like that, according to people, or have other jobs, or it's weird. To me it's like, get rid of that fucking thing and just give it to like, make all the guilds. Some people have suggested have all the guilds like DGA, SAG, all those people have one award show, give it to the Critics' Choice. That would be much better than what we're getting. Although I will say there was one Golden Globes I really liked in the 90s where like Robin Williams was there and Christine Lottie was like in the bathroom when she was supposed to win, and it was like that one was really good. And I think when they're at their peak they could be really wonderful. But the fact that, I don't know, there has been a lot of question on the Hollywood Foreign Press and the power they have, because they've never had black members, and why are people suddenly questioning them now when Hollywood let this happen for a long time? And I think hopefully they will fuck with that. Embla T, you're right about the music thing. That did not help either. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, let's do trailers and stuff. Oh, what about the integrity of the Academy Awards? Well, I think the Oscars are smart enough to correct themselves publicly. They're better at handling it than the Golden Globes, which is not surprising. But cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so trailers and stuff. The In the Heights trailer dropped, and I've heard a lot of hype about In the Heights from writers in the industry and so forth. A lot of people are even suggesting that this might be the musical that takes 2021 and not West Side Story, which is directed by Steven Spielberg. I would say that because I think Spielberg's being a stupid idiot by trying to think that he can do better than the original West Side Story, because that sounds to me like a stupid idea. But I have not seen anything from this misbegotten idea that Spielberg had. So until then, but In the Heights looks like really great. Actually, I will shit on the West Side Story idea from him. That is such a bad idea any day of the week. But sorry, In the Heights looks really great. It looks like a lot of fun, really wonderful, very Lin-Manuel Miranda, but it's like his musical. So it looks well directed. It looks more like New York Now than a West Side Story thing would be, but I thought it looked really cool. It was a really good trailer. There was another Cruella trailer, whatever. Monsters at Work. It seems like a cool idea. I think it's a really good idea because there hasn't actually been a sequel to Monsters Inc. There was a prequel, and I think this is a sequel that people actually want. And it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. You saw designs and things like that. The design looks good. I'm into that. The Arlo the Alligator Boy movie trailer. I want to specify because I saw some people say, "Oh, it's a new show." Not yet. Titmouse behind this. There's a movie first, then they're going to do a show later. The movie comes out in April. I believe it's April 16th. Looks really cool. I'm actually excited to watch that with Sophie. I think I will. There was a Kevin Bacon ad for this wireless thing. It looked like a lot of fun. They sort of mentioned Tremors, but they say Trevor. Haha, it's hilarious. He makes numbers, the Kevin Bacon number thing. I think my Bacon number is 4. That's a reference. I don't even know if I referenced that right. If anyone got it, put a Bacon in the chat, I guess. I don't know. We found out that Boondocks is coming out in 2022, which is expected, but that's happening. Loki is coming out on June 11th. To me, this means, because Falcon Winter Soldier is only 6 episodes, when we get to this, there's going to be a break of Marvel shows. We're not going to get this 1-in-1 thing if we're getting 6 episodes. There's no way with that math. But and iCarly is coming out this summer, supposedly, the reboot, as well as, and this is my last movies and stuff thing, He's All That is now going to Netflix. I think it was going to be released by whatever is left of Miramax. And Rachel Lee Cook is having a return, but she's not playing the same character, and Matthew Lillard. I'm curious why both of them. I'm curious about that. I'm sort of want to watch that, but I also never liked that movie, so I don't know. Thank you, Nathaniel Foga. I thought if it was anyone to correct me on my bacon number, it should be Nathaniel Foga. So thank you, Nathaniel Foga, for correcting me. Well, I'm older, so my bacon number has gone down to 4. Nat Box, I should not have 4 pieces of bacon. I don't have bacon that much. Natbox64 said, Angelic 2, the core, will be turning 5 this summer. Cheers to you, Corey Feldman and Natbox64. Okay, so we also got announced that there are 2 next Dreamworks films. I don't know if they're the next, but there are 2 Dreamworks films. I'm sure Ryan will correct me. Puss in Boots 2 is coming out on September 22nd, 2022. And then The Bad Guys, which is another film which sounds interesting, kind of a bank robbery thing, comes out on April 15th, 2022, which that comes out first. I like Puss in Boots a lot. Rachel Lee Cook is playing Matthew Lillard. I like that. Did I say Freddie Prinze and not Freddie Prinze Jr.? I did mean if Freddie Prinze came back, that would be surprising. I like the first Puss in Boots. I'm curious about the sequel, how they're going to do that. I'm glad DreamWorks is continuing. Ryan Johnson has a new show that's going to go straight to series at Peacock. Is supposedly being like a Mystery of the Week show with Natasha Lyonne playing basically the detective. He's apparently a big Columbo fan. I didn't know that. I thought he just made movies. I didn't know. But apparently he's Ryan Johnson's a big Columbo fan. It's supposedly everyone's speculating, although if you read the official trade things, they're not saying that. But everyone's speculating that she's basically playing Columbo with Natasha Lyonne. If that is the case, which it heavily sounds like it is, that sounds like a great show. So I'm totally down for that. It went straight to series at Peacock, so it is happening, basically. Seems like Peacock is doing that with Media Rights Capital or whatever the fuck. But that's cool. Other things, Kevin Feige says the Chris Evans thing is not happening, but he basically said, like, listen to Chris, so people are doubting that one. Okay, I need to hurry this up because we're going late. Let's see. Venom has moved to September 17th. It happened basically what everyone thought would happen because of Fast. Venom, you could have stayed. Fast and Furious is playing chicken. You never move. But I guess, Dom Toretto, so you're not going to win that. Ryan Walsh says, I await the scene where Rachel Lee Cook slams an egg and the entire kitchen with a frying pan. Any questions? Oh my god, that movie's not good. Cheers to you. What about the forks in the sequel to not? Okay. Maybe I should review She's All That at some point. That would be funny. Alright. Let's do a few things. And then we might run long tonight. I'm not sure. Sorry if we do. Ace Ventura 3 is in development from the writers of Sonic the Hedgehog. Interesting thing about the Ace Ventura 3 thing is that Jim Carrey's not attached at this time. However, this is at Amazon. Amazon has had 2 significant hits with major comedy franchises of sequels that no one thought would happen. Those would be Coming to America 2 and Borat 2. If I was Jim Carrey and I was thinking of making a big return, which I think he could, I was a little surprised he wasted it on Dumb and Dumber 2, and that didn't really work out the way I think everyone wanted it to. I think if he did that with Amazon, it could be a huge hit. And maybe he's thinking about his legacy right now. And what franchise could he bring back? Since he's already done Dumb and Dumber. I don't think he could do a Liar 2. I think that sounds like a terrible idea. Him going back to Ace Ventura, it's like the character that made him a movie star. They could probably say some things about transphobia if they would correct some of those things. And things like that. So we'll see. Am I the only goddamn person who first remembers Matthew Lillard from SLC Punk? Discount, Viscount, I appreciate that. You clearly didn't sell out, you bought in, so cheers to you. Thank you for the super chat. I think of Scream first, but also let's do a couple quick things and then yeah. I didn't think I'd run out of time, but I did. The Fraggle Rock, there's some cool Instagram and TikToks of them shooting in Calgary. It looks actually really cool how they do it. So if you can find that footage, I recommend it. The Sparks Brothers documentary from Edgar Wright is coming to theaters on June 18th. I do not actually know the Sparks Brothers music at all. And I should learn it, and I meant to listen to it today, and I didn't. But if Edgar Wright's doing it, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what is a documentary from Edgar Wright. That sounds interesting. Amber Wright, I think we all know that Amber Wright is someone that Amber Wright. Why am I saying Amber Wright? Amber Ruffin. Amber Ruffin, I think everyone knows I like the Amber Ruffin show a lot. It is got 6 months of pickups till September. It is a great show. If she does a different format, I'll probably do another review because it's hard to review late night shows because they change a lot. But that show stayed consistent. I've gotten more people into it. It's still really good. She does a great job with that show. She's really wonderful comedian, and yeah, I don't miss an episode, so I'm very excited that show will continue. It seems like they really like it, and they've been airing it actually in the Lily Singh spot on Fridays, so I don't know if they kept doing that, but they did that for a few weeks, so good for her. It's a good show. Check out the Amber Ruffin show. So Moviepass's website, or a Moviepass website, has had a countdown on it. That countdown will end tomorrow, or maybe Monday, and it says, I think it said 1 day and so many hours. No one can confirm who's running the site and what the countdown leads to, and it's confusing and scary, and we don't know, but we'll find out next week, I guess. But yeah, they just confirmed that all the people who made Moviepass what it was are not involved in it, and even the company who used to run Moviepass is bankrupt and going through that. So yeah, scary. Who knows? It might just be the end of everything because of Moviepass. We'll see. All right, so I got someone asked me to talk about this on, and I guess there'll be 2 more things, and then it'll be Obits, and then a break, and an awesome fan art from Ace the Wind Writer. But apparently, a writer called Cornelius Ulio, I think he was one of the writers on Peanuts, talked about a Tom and Jerry movie. Basically, Jerry this is an animated Tom and Jerry movie he's developing about Tom and Jerry living in a New England country home where they're befriended by the longtime elderly couple owners, and their comedic friendship comes to an end after the elderly couple passes and their house is put up for sale and so forth. Here's the thing about this, and it sounds they have an epic battle for the house and all these things. That sounds interesting to a certain degree, but I will say even the original Tom and Jerry thing sounded interesting on the surface level. It's not so much the premise that was the issue with that movie. It was the execution, because them fighting in a hotel could be amazing. I mean, if you look at the special shorts, it's Tom and Jerry fight in a sushi restaurant. That could go either way as a log line, but in the execution it's different. So that sort of sounds okay, but to me it's like, unless they have the execution. But knowing they had an animated one from the Peanuts writers, I have a little more faith in that. That does sound a little better, but to me, I'd need to hear a little bit more about that. And then finally, this Miss Doubtfire R-rated and NC-17 cut thing basically is Chris Columbus revealed that there was footage of Robin Williams improving and doing his own kind of takes constantly. Gotti Tuyo, good one, Nat and Box. Constantly when they were shooting, which he was known to do. Everyone knew that he would do improvs constantly and stuff like that and mess around with lines, and that he always wanted to release it in some fashion, and he sort of admitted that he would like to do a documentary on Mrs. Doubtfire and the production of it. I think there's enough nostalgia, particularly for that film and Robin Williams, that you could do that and just show off all these takes and everything. I think you can also, like, because of streaming services, like, make a nice documentary, have footage in it, and then if you have other takes that are really funny, put those as other options, like an HBO Max or whoever owns Mrs. Doubtfire. I forget what studio put it out. You have the other options, and they're funny, and if they're, NC-17 or whatever, then you can do that. Apparently, like, maybe these weren't cuts necessarily, but there is footage of that. And I think people would be into it, especially after the Snyder cut. I'm not joking. Like, I think if you look at the Fresh Prince special, people were talking about that. If you look at specials, you could do something like that. And it seems like Chris Columbus is into doing something with this footage, and I think he should. I think it would actually be really a cool idea. I think it would be fun for people. And that way you're not having like, what cut do I have to watch Mrs. Doubtfire with the kids if you want to do that? Like, just like a special for the kids who grew up with it. You get some more Robin Williams footage. In fact, honestly, like, you could make a YouTube channel out of like cool Mrs. Doubtfire, cool footage of Robin Williams, of him improvising from various movies. Like, you could probably do that and just give the AdSense to charity or something. That would be a cool idea. Maybe you should just do that, really. You're so hoping most of the jokes aren't super dated transphobic jokes. Yeah, they probably are. Okay, it's like the Robin Williams improv voice track on multiple takes on Latin. Oh yeah, that's true. I agree with the Robin Williams thing would be good. I like Bruce Parker, but jokes. All right. Before we take a quick commercial break, or I go pee. The Obits this week is Yaphet Kotto. Alien was the first R-rated movie I ever saw, so he has a special place in my heart for that. And I've always liked him as an actor, but it's mainly because of Homicide: Life on the Street. I'm a huge fan of that show. I actually have the box set, so I have every episode. Mostly, and I liked it before I knew The Wire and really knew who David Simon was. I grew up with watching that show on Friday nights. He was great as the chief. He was amazing in that show, but he had such a presence to him. He was so good at being a leader on that show, being the person they all relied on, kind of being the father figure for that show, being the one who cared about all of them. Homicide: Life on the Street is a great show, but Yaphet Kotto is a great actor. I know people are saying Live and Let Die, but that movie's racist and like whatever. Or what's it? Is that, it's not Live and Let Die, the Living, whatever. That, I don't care. He was a great actor. He gave amazing performances. He was just a wonderful presence. And Adrian Sierra knows what I'm talking about. Thank you, Adrian Sierra. I grew up with that guy because of Homicide: Life on the Street. He gave me a lot of performances that have been throughout my life. It was probably one of the celebrity deaths this year that will kind of hit me the most, because I was like, there's so many like seminal moments. And it's interesting about that show because I heard a lot of different movie podcasts talk about like how much they would stay home on Friday nights just to watch Homicide. And they weren't from Baltimore like me, where it like had a certain significance, but he had a real presence to him, and I think I will always I don't know, I'll always remember that actor. I think Yaphet Kotto was one of a kind, and just had a real, like, you always knew when he was in a movie, it was always like a pleasure that he was there. He was that kind of an actor. I wouldn't say he's a character actor. He was a character who was an actor. So Adrian Sierra knows Homicide. I did not see this coming. This is interesting. You are right. That is a great scene. Adrian Sierra is full of surprises. You never know what's going to happen. This is not what I was expecting. All right. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. When we get back, Helluva Boss, episode 4, Falcon Winter Soldier. We're going to do a lot of questions tonight. That's what I've decided. But yes. But before we do that, and I want to say thank you, everyone, for the super chats so far. Everyone's been very generous. I'm going to show off this awesome fan art from Ace the Wind Rider. If you want to submit fan art and you're not just Ace the Wind Rider, I know this has basically become his segment, and kudos to him because he's done a great job week after week. So respect to him. But if anyone else wants to, at me on Twitter, find some way to communicate with me and send me some fan art. I will play it during this break, or I will show it during this break or whatever. I'd be happy to do so. But if Ace wants to continue, but I think this is his best fan art so far. It's fucking cool, and I'm happy that I can show it off to you. I'm going to do the fade, and I'll go to the bathroom, and then I'll be right back. That is cool. Good job, Ace. Good job. All right, I'll be right back. Getting whizzy with it. Nice, Nathaniel Fogg. That was good. That was good. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, gotta get up. Okay. I am back. I am back. Ace the Wind Rider. I am definitely going to post that on an Insta story. So if you have it on Instagram, I will post that. But if not, I will post on my own. So let me know if you do that. If you don't want to do that, I'm not forcing you. I'm just more saying that's what I'm going to do. Because it's fucking cool. I'll give you credit, obviously. Just as an Insta story. Hello, I'm back. That was good, Ace the Wind Rider. You're doing some good work. I still think HBO Max should have had an action hero mascot name HBO Max. That is a good idea. I like that. I'm sort of into that. I don't know. I think that's a cool idea. All right. Okay. No, it's cool fan art. It's really, you really outdid yourself. I think that's the best one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you really outdid yourself. I did not expect that shit. All right. Let's just get into it because it's late. I have this fear we're going over. I'm gonna take this just for the energy. Apologize. Let's just get into this thing. Yes. No, come on. All right. If you haven't seen these things, I don't know if you can really spoil Helluva Boss, but Falcon Winter Soldier, I will do the spoilers thing in there. But if you're watching this, I think most people watch these streams later, from what I've been told in analytics, believe it or not. But if you want to switch forward and you're not watching live, then just use the chapters that I put in there. But if not, yeah. All right, so Helluva Boss episode 4, Cherub. The premise of this one is sort of weird because you get, you have this de-aging inventor trillionaires. So you start off with that. You get one of them dies and tries to get the whole team to then, kill the other trillionaire and bring them to hell. But then the cherubs, who you first think is a cartoon, who are basically like the same people, but they're like heaven guys, I guess, are going to do the opposite. But then when they found this other, so there's so many concepts in this. It's like I'm surprised this episode worked, because I was like, it worked really well, but there's so many concepts. I'm surprised this works so well. I really liked it. I don't know, but I noticed maybe people weren't as into it. But so they had this de-aging machine, and they put it the wrong way, so they aged rapidly. One of them died. The other one was just super old, and then he's trying to kill himself. But then the other, the crew was just like, well, we didn't need to kill him. He's going to kill himself. We'll just encourage him to kill himself. But then the angels are trying to discourage him from killing himself. And then they have like, their back and forth really makes this episode for me. I would watch more episodes of them, the cherub people, and everyone, the imps, going at each other. There's one part where like they're fighting and then two of the imps are making out, and it's just like, I was like, what the fuck is this? But it like works in like almost like a Tom and Jerry cartoon. It sort of reminds me of what I was saying about the Tom and Jerry movie, where it's like it's not so much the plot, it's the execution. And especially with this, because they execute people, but because of the execution, it really gets in this crazy manic like cartoon logic kind of animation jokiness that I think really works about it. There's less like, stupid dialogue and everything. Like, this is much more of a visual episode, and it's so complicated. There's so many crazy stupid things in this that it just, I don't know, I really liked it. I think this shows the best of what Helluva Boss has as a series, because it's just fun to see all these crazy things going on at once. It was almost information overload, but it all worked out, because I was thinking like, you could have a whole thing on the trillionaire aging thing. You could have just the cherub concept. You could have them convincing an old guy to kill himself. But like, let's have it all happen at the same time. And what I liked about this episode is they got it all to work as well. You can have 40 things attacking each other at once, but if there's no like cohesion to the whole thing, because it's almost like one thing leads to another. Like, it's basically like, trillionaire aging thing, then the guy's old, and he hires them to go get him to kill himself, and then or they get him to kill him, then he wants to kill himself, and then the cherub people show up, and then you're like, it's basically like, this escalated this, escalated this, escalated this, and it's like great screenwriting. They did a good job writing this one. This is maybe my favorite, and I've liked the show so far, but I think this is a really good episode, and I think they did their I think this showed what Vizzy Pop and all them can really do, because it had a real animation logic to it, and it was maybe less about like someone sleeping with someone or anything like that. It was just like a crazy ass insane kind of concept of an episode, and I just think Helluva Boss like just took it and ran with it, and I was just ready to follow along down that road. Yeah. All right. Sorry. I hope that made sense. I feel like that ended up being longer than I expected. All right. So I will get to everyone's questions. I know we're running long, so do not worry. So, just gonna drink water for this one. Falcon and Winter Soldier, episode 1. I generally and mostly really like this episode. Hold on. Spoilers. There you go. I said it, so everyone be careful. All right, there we go. So, Falcon Winter Soldier, episode 1. I really like this episode because, for the most part, this was mainly about setting up this show. That is all that they were really trying to accomplish, and I think it worked very well. It almost plays like the season premiere of a show that had been on for a couple seasons, but I guess that's true for like the Marvel stuff. See a Twisted Razor. Thank you for being here. they really just set everything up. You know, what's Falcon up to? What's he doing with the shield? What's Bucky the Winter Soldier up to? Like, you see all the stakes. You understand where these characters are, which is really important for the rest of the show, really. You get, like, what happened with the shield. You see what Sam's dealing with his family. You see the Winter Soldier in therapy dealing with the idea of he was like this assassin for all these years and stuff. That plot line, I've heard people, by the way, and this is really, really spoilery, did not see the kind of sting to that whole story with the Winter Soldier. Because I've talked to people who didn't notice when he looked into the... Again, stop watching. If you want to spoil it, just mute it right now. Did not see that was his son in there. Like, did not know. Because at first you don't know, and I like that it builds in a way where, like, oh, he's going to avenge him. However, I will say this, though. There is an interesting thing I realized about this, is his son didn't, like, just die, or, like, die within a year or something. Like, he's not been the Winter Soldier for a little bit. He was in Wakanda, you know. Then, you know, the snap happened. So, like, at earliest, this was 7 years ago, right? I mean, I don't know. The way he talks about it is mourning it makes it sound like it happened recently. I'm not saying people need to mourn very quickly or something like that. I just, maybe the old guy went, but it just felt, that part I noticed they didn't really acknowledge because they kept acting like it wasn't, but whatever. But I really like the Winter Soldier plotline because it established where he is mentally, who he is as a person, where he is with all this. The Falcon storyline, although has a great action sequence and a lot with the military, which I noticed there's a lot more questioning of Marvel's involvement with the military, which I do expect more video essays and all that to come out because the show is so military based. And we've been seeing a lot of discussions on Twitter, which is totally natural. We get more of where Falcon is at with his family, where he's at, where personally he's at and everything, but less about him mentally. We're getting where Winter Soldier is mentally. We're not getting as much Falcon. And I think there was kind of a mistake in that because, and also leading to the end of it, because when you get to the end of it, he, you know, gives the shield to the Smithsonian, which I actually think is a rightful thing to do. And one thing it doesn't also get into is Falcon has an identity. Does he still want to be Falcon, or does he just want to give that up and become something else? Even though that's a great honor, do you just want to give up your identity to become Captain America? Maybe he doesn't. They don't really get into that. And I sort of wish they had done similar to what, because when you get to the end, you see the U.S. agent thing, right? I think the thing with the U.S. agent thing is that if you had a thing like in Judas and the Black Messiah where you have, and this is obviously not the same as Judas and the Black Messiah, but structurally what I am going to bring up is, you know, you have Lakeith Stanfield, Daniel Kaluuya, and you have Jesse Plemons and the FBI. And I wish there had been a thing with them saying, like, we want you to take on Captain America, and he's reluctant, and he gives the shield up to the government, and there's more of a discussion. You could have Rhodes in that or something like that. But because I get maybe Marvel does not want to disparage the government or make them look negative in a certain way, they don't have those discussions. You just get this random thing at the end. And although I thought it sets everything up well, when you really think about it, they could have explored that a little better. I think in generally, I actually really like the episode. I like how clear the writing is. This is so different from WandaVision, and I think in a very good way. I liked Wyatt Russell. Thank you, Austin. In that, the what was it, the flag smasher thing, I think that has to do with US agent. And if you watch Trailer Drake's video about, or Comic Drake, sorry, video about that, he kind of gets into that US agent had these goons and things like that. It might be like a play with the US government and things like that. I'm curious what they're going to do with that plot line, but watch the Comic Drake video. I think it's my most recent one about US agent. He explains that thoroughly. I think that's what they're doing, but I'm not sure. But overall, I liked the storytelling potential in this. I like how they did it. I'm also like, I think the motivations, the writing in this, I sort of want to see where the other 5 episodes play out and explain like the plots and because it feels like they're setting things up, but I don't know how they're going to do it next. It feels pretty good. I do have questions about that and everything, but I like the start of this a lot more, and I was much more into it immediately and drawn in. And this feels a little more economical, a little more straightforward narratively, which I think Marvel works best at. And I think this could, be a really cool show. I'm curious about. I think this might be the big, really great Marvel show, and I think this is the one that might hold up to repeat viewings as well. At least that's how I feel in the first one. We'll see where it goes from here, but right now I feel very positive on that. All right, let's move on to. I have two Patreon questions. I'm going to answer Nathaniel Fogus first. Do you ever have an instance where you walked out of a movie due to its poor quality? I have never walked out on a movie I saw for the first time. I have walked out on. I think I walked out of like the fifth time I saw Rocky Horror to like get drunk with someone, and then we went back. So I don't know if that counts. And then I think friends kept taking me to see Gone in 60 Seconds in 2000. And the second time I was like, I can't do this. I'm going home. So I guess those are the only times really. Austin asks, and this is an interesting one. Question for Movie Crap. I need a comic book film buff, and that you, Jim. So the Snyder Cut coming out this week, and I want to know the story of what happened behind the scenes of Superman 2. I never knew that Richard Donner didn't direct it, and how much did his cut change the movie? Also, bonus, did Richard Donner have any involvement in Superman Returns, because the film seems so weird and problematic due to the people in it? That's true. Superman Returns, his wife, I believe, produced, but I think he might have helped, but it's more influenced by him than he worked on. Basically what happened with Superman 2 is he shot some while they're shooting the first Superman movie. He had disagreements with the Salkinds. This is like the real Cliff Notes version of it. You should watch a thing about that if you can. Basically, he left because he was having creative disagreements with them. They brought in Richard Lester and finished it. I know the Richard Donner cut, people don't really like it as much. I talked about reviewing it for right around the Snyder cut, but I ran out of time and so forth. I think the thing that didn't work about that is they didn't give it the budget they gave the Snyder cut, and some of the CG looked bad and things weren't finished and you couldn't reshoot things and things like that. So I don't think it worked out the same way the Snyder cut, where everyone's talking about it. The Donner cut didn't get reviewed as much, so it's probably not as well known, to be honest. But I was surprised all those people talking about the Snyder cut didn't review it. But it's basically like he did Superman the movie, he kind of got screwed out of it, and then they sort of made Superman 2 half with his stuff and then reshoot other stuff, and a lot of the actors didn't like that. I think that's basically the Cliff Notes version. I hope I answered your question. Let me see the other questions. What's this? Eric Milando. Have you and Ian watched 40 Hours with Newton Holte and Eddie Murphy and Running Scared with Billy Crystal and Christopher? What? Have you and Ian watched? I've watched 48 Hours. It's been a long time since Running Scared. I like 48 Hours, though. Okay. Worst biopic you've ever seen? Nathaniel Foga. Blindside, I guess? I don't know. With all the streaming services, why don't we get an app that takes note of all your subscriptions and puts all your libraries in one place? There's been so much talk of that, and I know people have tried, but it hasn't really worked because they all have to be on board. We'll see if that ever happens. Oh, I should have put a spoilers over. I think people know that, though. Oh, Austin said, so the giant rat is named Rungs, and the wolfman is named Ariel Scolas. Found out on Wikipedia. That's interesting. Cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for that. Adrian Sarah, I'm going to go back. Don't worry. Adrian Sarah said, favorite Homicide season? And follow-up question, do you think they focused too much on Frank as seasons went on? Personally, I think the first three were the best. I'm with you on the first three. I think 4 was pretty good. My first favorites, 1 I think is pretty remarkable. I think 3 and 4 are up there as well. Let me do M Blood T. What do you think is the deeper meaning behind the sesame seed in the Snyder cut? I don't know what the sesame seed. What does that mean? Oh, with the girl and the burger and stuff. I think it represents America. Sunspot Mill. Should Paul Blart recruit to be part of his superhero team? Yeah, he should be in the Super Friends because he likes being friends with people. When will you do a tier list video? Okay, so Paleo said I should make more tier list videos with Saber, and I said I will make a tier list video of your tier list videos. So when he makes 10 tier list videos with Saber, I will make a video that is a tier list of his tier list videos. And I'm serious, I will do that. Not plausible. More of a statement, but I will vote for whatever presidential candidate makes Crete Secretary of Transportation, Paul Blart the Secretary of Mall Defense. I like that. Daniel Fogo, what's a director you feel could get redeemed? What's his name? John McTiernan. I think he served his time. He's still a good director. He made like a cool video game ad, and it was amazing. It was like, he's such a great action director. I feel like, I know he's involved and he went to jail and stuff, but I feel like he could come back. Bruce Parker, if you could do a biopic on the history of MST3K, who would you pick to play all the main characters? Oh my god. I feel like Michael Cera would end up playing Joel, which I think might work. What would Seth Rogen play? I don't want Seth Rogen to play Kevin Murphy. Jim Mallon would be played by the McLovin guy, maybe. Maybe Clark Duke would play Jim Mallon. I couldn't do everyone. Those, I'll give you those two at least. Did the Cookie Monster become the Veggie Monster? No, Cookie Monster is not Veggie Monster. He likes vegetables, but he's the Cookie Monster. I've seen that episode. Don't be bringing that up. Can you explain virtue signaling? It's basically this idea that people fake diversity and are virtue signaling to show like, oh, that they are, because corporate people are making it. It's basically like a shitty thing people believe because they can't believe that diversity is something that people want because they're awful people. That's basically what it means. Who's better, the Cantina Band or the Max Rebo Band, starring Snooters, I think, from Toon J723. I actually like Max Rebo a bit better, I'm going to be honest. So I'm not really that into jizz. Sorry. Your pitch for Zack Snyder Justice League 2 based on what you've seen so far. I think it should be fun and he shouldn't do it. Now maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't mind if it would be a crazy in that apocalypse thing fight. I think that would be cool. Not plausible. Other than New York, LA, what other cities are really important to the film industry, and what up and coming states and cities are looking to break into the industry? I would say Atlanta, New Orleans, Texas, I think are all important. I think there should be more Midwest stuff. I think we should diversify more. I think we're seeing more Florida, but I think New Orleans in general because it's a great city. Tell me, do you bleed from Ryan? Sometimes, not all the time. Zane Powers, what's the worst case of studio, going one step forwards and two steps back? Probably the Snyder Cut. Tier list of movies that came out in 1939 from Toon J723. Oh my god. Well, Wizard of Oz is one. That would be an interesting one. Maybe one day. Cheers to you, Toon J. Thank you for the super chat. Where are we? Man, will I get all these questions? That's a real question. Question. Why you want to shit more on Steven Spielberg's West Side Story some more? I guess, you want to shit more on... I just think it's such a bad idea. You can't do better than the original. I think it's sort of stupid. Okay, hold on. I'll do Bloxy and then I'll do Cornbread. When are you going to review every ICP music video? Oh god, never. Cornbread. Fun fact, a Jedi, the same species, is the Cantina Wolfman named Wolf Moon, was a character featured in the Gendy Star Wars miniseries, which is coming to Disney Plus. He was in chapter 20 and 22. Okay, cool. Someone send me a picture of that. That'd be cool. How did you meet Sinram from Austin? I think we met each other just through commenting on our videos, but we met in real life once. And I went to Chicago once and I forgot to... It was like hard to get away and I should have... we should have met up.
It's one of my regrets. But if we're ever in the same city, we should meet up. But we had dinner once. It was nice. He's a good guy. I like Sinra. And we did like a Google Meet stream thing at one point, and that was cool too. Best bands from new metal era, me, Rage Against the Machine, and Slipknot. Probably, let's just say Rage Against the Machine. I think that's, the rest are pretty bad, I would say. I mean, Korn is interesting in terms of the instruments, but I don't think it's good. Question: did the knock force quickie on Charles Barkley have an inspiration from the time he appeared in the Clerks animated series? No, it was that. No, I can tell you that's not true. I get why you think that though, but it was more because we just thought Charles Barkley was cool. Although we had seen it, so I get why you'd think that, but it wasn't. Zane Powers, was Anakin justified in his slaying of the Tusken Raiders? Like a couple, but like not the extent he went. When are they making The Blind Side? What? Oh, when are they making The Blind Side 2? Sorry, it was covering that up. Any day now. Please don't. I would be interested in that, actually. I think a follow-up film could be interesting. Are people still mad that Godzilla vs. Kong isn't R-rated? I think they are, but I think that's stupid. What part of the country would you like to visit if you could? I actually have never been to LA, so I think that would be interesting, to be honest with you. I haven't been farther than Texas, so. What is your dream director's cut release? Right now, because the Magnificent Ambersons things, Magnificent Ambersons, probably that. I can't think of another one right now, I'm sorry. Do you think, this is Pig Pancake, do you think Joe Biden would be cool to have a revival of OKKO to have another season? I'm really down for an OKKO revival for HBO Max. Yeah, well, Joe Biden loves OKKO, right? Probably. Zane Powers, could M. Night Shyamalan, aka act Pokemon and make them about the Holocaust? Ugh, I hope not. Does the grimace need to be stopped? Yes, he does, but nothing can stop the grimace. Cornbread, how do you feel about the sudden surge of Wolfband super chats in the stream? I'm okay with it. I know there's a super chat down here, right? Wasn't there one? Okay, best band from. Oh, I guess I answered that. But thank you for the super chat, $9. Cheers to you. Let's see. Do you think Hitler loves more genocide or the Cardi B smash hit featuring Megan Thee Stallion WAP? Well, Hitler loves WAP, I guess. Does Droopy deserve a comeback, or has he peaked as the Joker? Droopy does deserve a comeback. Does Superman bleed? Sometimes. Favorite PTA film? Boogie Nights, probably. Have you read Life in Hell, and do you think they'll ever make a Life in Hell cartoon or reboot? I think he doesn't want to, so. Hey, handsome, you come here often? I mean, I live here. Are we getting the Snyder cut of She's the Man? Oh, I heard about the gender dysmorphia that she suffered because of that, so I feel bad about that movie now. Adrian Sarah, are you going to give the guy outside with the dog making soup any salt, or make even some pepper? Paprika would really hit the Slayer thing. I also think take the dog to vet. I can give them some paprika. I have some paprika. Okay, let me answer. Could you make juice? When you make juice, do you use the real fruit juice or concentrate? I just buy juice. I'm not that interesting. Are your coins turning? Not right now. Where's the beef? In the kitchen. Who'd win in a fight, Creech or the Giant Rat? Oh, Creech. When was Creed ever a good band? Never. Was there nothing notable about the 70s, 80s until Limp Bizkit showed up? Sure. Good night, Austin. What would happen with that Ezra Miller video with the fan? I don't know. That's a good question. Should we all read Orwell's 1984? I think it's more relevant now because they canceled Dr. Seuss. I don't know. I think that's overdone, that whole thing. Did we get everything? Maybe? Wait. What part of... I think we got everything. Alright. I think we're done. Here. This went way longer than usual. I want to thank everyone for coming out, for being as generous as you have been, especially tonight. Who, what, when? Nice, Adrian Sarah. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching all my content, everything like that. I hope you all have a good night. I think it's time to end this, but I'm getting a little sleepy. But yeah, thank you for all your support and everything like that. Check out the videos. I think the next one will be Falcon Winter Soldier on Sunday. Probably has been Hotel on Tuesday, then Snyder Cut at some point. But you guys all have a good night. Thank you for being here. There won't be a stream until next Saturday. And then there won't be anything on this Monday. But there should be stuff coming out. And on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom review, which I'm kind of proud of. I did a bunch of research. I'm kind of into that. But anyway, you guys all have a good night. And I will see you next time. And subscribe if you would like to. Have a good night, everybody.